Now we're on. Now we're live. So now anything you say is broadcast live. So today I want to talk a little bit about how we handle buyers and what we're doing to make ourselves stand out a little bit. You know, one of the things that we talk about quite often is there's no buyer loyalty. And I don't really believe that because I've had plenty of buyers call me up. You know, we lose touch. They stop looking for one reason or another. It just happened. I had somebody who I was looking with last November, December. We had almost gotten to the point where we were putting offers in. We were negotiating on the house actually. But the problem was they had a mortgage issue. Okay. So I said, no problem. I understand completely. Give me a call when you're ready to go. They came back to me. We've now got contracts out on another house. So it's 6 months later. They came back to me. I just kept in touch by saying, hey, how's everything going every once in a while. To be honest with you, this is a do as I say, not as I do. I should have been in touch with them more often. But they were loyal to me. Why were they loyal to me? Anybody take a guess of what I was doing so miraculously? Nobody? Crickets. Not much. I'll be honest with you, not much. But it was better than everybody else. That's really what it came down to. It didn't take me going and killing myself, laying gold at their feet. It took following up with them, making sure that they were okay, making sure that they were getting the information that they need, educating them on the process, talking to them like they're human beings, being pleasant. That's really all it took. But the other agents out there, because they had been with other agents previously, and the other agents out there would either not call, not follow up with them, not contact them and say, hey, we're going to meet here and these are the houses we're seeing. Okay? Or they'd be rude. They told me point blank. We dealt with several agents that we would never deal with because they were rude. Kelly had a situation where she just lost the listing a few months ago to one of our competitors. Because the people, even though she's friends with them, the people said they were talked into it by one of their relatives and they felt they had to go with this person. Had to. They called Kelly up. They said, you know, hey, we're in contract. Just wanted to let you know, but we really feel obligated to this person because she's listed our house. So we're going to go out and see houses with her. Would that annoy you? Mm-hmm. It would annoy the crap out of me. Guess what? 2 days later, they called her up and said, we're in contract. We can't stand our listing agent. We refuse to buy a house with her.
They're in contract.
They're in contract to sell their house.
Oh, not to buy.
We need to buy a house. Can you take us out? We have 40 days to get into something. Okay? Why did they come back to her? Because she said to them, you don't have any obligation to this person. I understand if you want to go forward with her, but really you don't have any obligation. Had she said, this is a bunch of crap. I can't believe you would do that to me. Screw you. Probably wouldn't have worked out so well for her. But she said, you know, look, I'm a little upset that you're not going with me. I feel a little hurt, but I understand. Two very different things saying the exact same message.
Chris, I'm in that situation now where my husband's best friend is going through a divorce and the wife won't agree to list him with me. She feels that I'm
biased.
Yeah, that I know too much of her story, maybe. But again, he stopped by our house last night. I wanted to show him comparables, so I'm giving him part of the package that I have so that when the court picks or the two attorneys pick another broker, that he'll have more information. And he mentioned that he will be buying and he will come back to me.
But sometimes we're not going to win them all.
We're
just not going to win them all. And yeah, it does hurt. Because it's a rejection. Even if it's not him rejecting you, it's still a rejection. We don't like to lose. We don't like to be rejected. I get it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But one of the things we need to work towards is making sure that we're communicating properly so that we're not losing on the other side. so that we're not losing those referrals. Because if the gentleman was going to refer somebody, he would probably refer you because you were so understanding and gave him the information that he needed. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If we make ourselves useful to people, they're going to want to use us. But we have to offer them something. It's not me, 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 me. Why aren't you using me? It's how can I help you? And you notice there's a running theme in most of what I'm talking about. I mean, this should be no surprise for anybody who's been in these meetings before or has seen anything that I send out. It is work on yourself, make yourself better, to help others be better. And people will respond to that. You had a recent experience last night or yesterday afternoon. Why don't you tell everybody about your experience?
I had a customer who wanted to see 3 properties in Flushing and Kew Gardens, and I couldn't get him into the third. They needed 24-hour notice, and the agent never got back to me, so I went about my business, and at like 9:20 at night, the agent called and said, we got you in. So this guy had a plan. He was going to go, see A, B, and C, and now it got all confused, and he wanted to be first because the guy wanted to leave and go to work, and so we were talking. One was on 77th Avenue and one was on 77th Road, which I had to Google to find out they were in different places. And finally I said, you know what, even I'm getting confused. Give me 5 minutes, I'll type you up a quick itinerary and I'll email it to you, and now we'll know exactly where we're supposed to be. He was crunched for time. You know exactly how much time you have to look at each property. And I think it'll flow more smoothly. And he goes, that is awesome. You are definitely the best agent I've dealt with so far. This is my first show, so it was very flattering.
So for those of you who can't actually see, this is Melissa we're talking about. Melissa has been with us 3 weeks a month. She's only been licensed 3 weeks a month. So this is the first person she's taking out, and already agents, customers are saying to her, you're better than the other agents. It doesn't take a lot.
Was that at night?
It was. I called him up at 9:30 at night.
I didn't go out at night.
No, I apologize for the late phone call, but I have good news. I got you into the one you really wanted to see. And he even said, when I said I'd type up a quick itinerary, he goes, do you mind? It's 9:30 at night. I go, yeah, when I'm done, it'll be 9:35. That's not a big deal.
And I'm not telling everybody here to work at 9:30 at night. Everybody works at their own schedule, But going out of the way and just sending a quick email, and literally, what did it take you, 5 minutes to type up?
Yeah.
And letting people know what schedule you're going to be on, and letting people know where you're at. How many people who are a little bit more experienced and have shown some houses? How many times have you had somebody say to you, I want to see these 8 houses, and then 3 of them are available? Mm-hmm. Happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many of you actually send an email, a text, call the person, however you're communicating with them, and say, this is the status update of these houses, this is what we're actually going to see?
All the time.
Okay. How many agents do you think do that? Let me put it this way. To be in the top 7% of MLS as of last year, how many sides do you think you had to do? Take a guess.
7. That's a good silly email.
7 sides. 7 sides. I don't think anybody, unless you have another income coming in, I don't think anybody here can survive on 7 sides on the average of $400,000 a side. So, in order to do better than the 93% of MLS, all you have to do is 7 sides. In order to do better than most of the other people out there, it doesn't take much. It's this much effort, not this much or this much. So I want you to think about how can you be a better help to these people?
Chris, there's been times where I've taken people out from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock, or there's times I've had to pick up people at the airport. And one of the things that I've done when we can't get into a house is I ask the broker's permission to either walk in the yard or I windshield the outside of the house so that even though they don't see it, they can see the neighborhood, they can see children playing, they can see the condition. And that's gotten me through a few tight calls where I was only able to get into one or two houses instead of five. So at least I windshield with them and we made other appointments. And
Yeah.
that's worked.
Sometimes it can be very frustrating to a buyer, especially in the market like today's, where we have low inventory. It can be very frustrating. Hey, I sent you these 22 houses. Why can we only get to see 3? It's happened to me plenty of times. And you have to explain to them. And if you list them out, if you just do a quick bullet point list, 123 Main Street, 246 Elm Street, under contract, or contracts are out, accepted offer, no longer showing, or whatever the case may be, going to get into Merrick Avenue, Merrick Road, whatever. It really alleviates a lot of the pressure off the other person. You have to remember, if you look at it from the other side, this is an extremely stressful situation for the other person, the person that's buying. We walk in and out of houses, we walk in and out of contracts all the time. It's our business. We understand what we're doing. We understand what's going on, and with experience, we understand what's a big deal and what's not. So we understand what to get crazy about and what to say, look, this isn't a big deal. Somebody who's never been through the process before, or has been through the process 15 or 20 years ago and has only bought one house, they don't understand that. They don't have that experience. We need to be able to say to them, look, I understand you're concerned about this, and I appreciate that. However, generally, this is not a big deal, and this is why. You know, somebody finds termites, they can't determine whether it's an old infestation or active. So the inspector recommends a termite treatment be done. Oh my God, there's termites. Well, you know what? We're on Long Island. And I've had inspectors tell me there's only 2 types of houses on Long Island, the ones that have had termites and the ones that are going to have termites. So is that a big deal? No, it's probably not a big deal. Now, if the main beam has been chewed out and it's an unstable property, yeah, that's a big deal. You know, but we need to be able to convey and alleviate some of that pressure and alleviate some of that frustration and that worry from our clients. And if we do that, you will find that they will be loyal to you. Loyalty is earned. It's not expected. And if we expect it, we're not going to get it. But if we go out there and treat people the way we would treat a networking event, which is, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Those people will be loyal. So what are you doing to make your people loyal to you? What are you doing to go that extra step? And it's literally a step. It's not miles. I mean, for Melissa, it was emailing out an itinerary. It didn't take long. It made the guy feel good. And you know what? Even though he was working with multiple agents, my guess is he will probably be working with you from now on, not multiple agents. Carol, you've got some experience in this. What do you do? I mean, you have a number of buyers that you've worked with over the years. What do you do that makes you stand out?
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know how to do this right now. But I've had some weird situations with buyers. Matter of fact, I just had one yesterday that we went up and we looked at. We couldn't see the house the way he wanted to see it. And we couldn't use someone who said he was trying to walk around. And I once asked me by just talking about the other house. But we have appointments to go back out again. But I don't really know how to handle something. Why not?
Okay.
But everybody's different, and each situation is a new challenge. So.
Yeah, there is no way I could be able to tell you this is the way you handle a client, because every situation is going to be different. If you came to me with a specific situation, a specific problem, I certainly can help you work through it, but a lot of times you have to do it on the fly. So it becomes more difficult to say, oh, hang on a second, let me call the manager and find out how I should talk to you. That just comes with experience. And yeah, some people are difficult to deal with. There's no two ways about it.
Did I ask you who's responsible for moving the tree that makes the
Really depends on where the property line is. So,
Well, the reason I bring this up, we had an appointment, okay, so we had an office like that. And the next door, there's a huge tree.
Mhm.
Was over on top of the house we were trying to buy.
okay,
And we'd seen the house before. The buyer saw the tree. It wasn't a concern.
You can just grow there.
Maybe well, we got it accepted. Now we do an engineer's report. Certainly, he said, whose tree is this? I'm like, well, it's their tree.
Yeah, but if it's over
But
his
it's over
property,
here.
then he has a right to cut back as much as he
So I said,
wants
yeah,
on
you can cut
his.
whatever it is. He said, no. I want to know who this spot for cutting, because they're not going to do it. Do that.
Well, you can
Yeah.
cut what's on your property.
you're allowed to cut whatever's on your property. So,
They were allowed to do that. They were.
The homeowner
They
is,
didn't even speak. It's a huge tree.
yeah, but it doesn't matter as long as,
And
one of the
they-
parties
they
is
just
willing
had
to-
go down. But you see the two of them prior to what's going back there.
That's right in the house, and it's tree cut on his
Right.
farm.
And she doesn't want to pay for it.
it's
well,
it's it's
they
a
could negotiate that in the,
it's a strange phenomenon, and I find with people, especially people out from outside this country, immigrants into this country, seem to be more concerned with trees than the people that are here. I don't know what it is. I don't know what
I
the
had the same
phenomenon
problem
is.
the other day.
You know,
But it's not the people, it's wood, it's woody.
Yeah.
And they're worried about all these trees.
woods is in the name. I get it. But, for whatever reason, some people just want to take every tree off the property. They're afraid it's going to hit the house. They're afraid it's going to make a mess. They want a pool, whatever the case may be, and you're going to deal with that. So if a tree is not on your property, it is not your property. Okay, so that tree does not belong to you. However, you have the right to cut the limbs from the property line straight up. Okay, the neighbor does not have an obligation to cut that tree. Now, the tree drops a limb if they've been notified it's a problem, the tree drops a limb on the house, are they liable for that? An argument could be made that they are, you need to see an attorney. Okay, but just because you go over and say, well, you cut your tree, probably not going to do it. But if you point out, hey, the tree's damaging my house and that's a problem, and have a conversation with them about it in a non-threatening way, you may have some luck with that. Okay? But people get themselves nuts over what really is, yes, it can be costly to remove tree limbs. I just had a tree removed. It was a relatively small tree. I had the stump around and it was
oh, that's
$275 to remove the tree. And maybe it was 12, 15 feet tall. So it wasn't a multi-story tree, and you can see it can be a little pricey. But cutting limbs back, that's something that that's part of home ownership.
maintenance.
And it's hard to explain that to somebody who hasn't owned a house before. A lot of these first-time buyers want no maintenance, brand new, for no money.
Walking.
So how do we deal with that? Tell me, Francesca, how do you deal with that?
I just talk to them, make them see for what you are able to afford, this is what we're going to find.
Mhm.
And if you want a walk-in, a property where you're just gonna walk in, then I'll take your seat back. But you can't do that.
And it's educating. I try to stay away from words like afford, because people sometimes feel attacked when you use that, like you're judging what their income is and what their net worth is. People put a value on themselves based on what they can buy sometimes. Well, I can only afford a $300,000 house. I must not be doing it well. Something's wrong with me. So I turn it back on the banks. I know PNC would hate to hear this, but I turn it back on the banks a lot of times. Well, the bank is only going to give you a mortgage for. And it takes some of the sting out of that. Now it's the bank's fault that you can only get that house. And I know it sounds silly, like I'm splitting hairs, but a lot of times we are splitting hairs. And a lot of times what we have to do is turn it a little on its head and deliver the message in a slightly different fashion so that people don't feel attacked, so they don't feel like they're disconnected from us. We want people to feel, whether it's buyer or seller, we want them to feel like we are in an us and we situation, not us and them. We should be the team. We're part of their team. We're part of the people that they want to talk to. We're part of the people that they want to come to when they need advice. And that will make you the person that they always refer, the person they always go to whenever they need anything real estate related. And I have people call me up for random stuff. Taxes. We had somebody just walk in the door yesterday that Kelly has been staying in touch with for a number of years and had given the CMA to a number of years ago. How do we get our enhanced star? Had nothing to do with us, but you know what? I sat down, I printed out some stuff for them, I emailed them the link to the website so they could go through everything for themselves. We can't do that for them. We can't, fill that paperwork and take it out and apply for them. And we don't have authorization to give over their social security numbers and allow them to, allow the state to review their taxes, which they require for an enhanced star. But what we can do is give them a little information and educate them. And I got them talking a little bit, and they started talking about a house they have to sell in Williamsburg, multi-million-dollar house. I said, we can help you with that. You can, absolutely. Call Kelly. Well, we also want a condo. We're thinking about maybe downsizing our house into a condo. Can you show us condos in all of Nassau? Sure, we can. Talk Kelly. We may be buying something in Florida as well. We can help you with that. So I spent no more than 10 minutes with these people. They were very nice people, and I was happy to help them. And maybe we would have gotten nothing out of it. Maybe we still get nothing out of it. But we have 3 opportunities, and we can help them possibly sell their house and buy a condo, sell their house in Williamsburg, and possibly help them find something in Florida through our Reload network. And what did it take me? 10 minutes? So you want people to start calling you for those random things. You want people to come in the door. I get people all the time calling me up, hey, do you have a good accountant? Do you have a good lawn service? Do you have a good this? Do you have a good that? Because I'm the guy that knows everybody. I've got the guy. And if I don't, I can find out for you. And that's what you want people to start to know you as. You're the real estate person, and you've got the guy. And it's tremendous with networking. It's going to help you with your buyers. It's going to help you with your sellers. It's going to help you build that relationship. I say it all the time, guys. Do we sell anything? Do we really sell houses? No, we don't. What we really sell is ourselves and building relationships. We build relationships with people that we work with. We guide them through the process. We add value to the home sale, whether it's buy or sell. If we're on the list side, we market homes. We advise on pricing. But somebody walks into a house and says, wow, this is a piece of crap. I'd never live here. Are you going to say anything that's going to convince them to buy that house? So what you're really doing is you're building those relationships, and always keep that in mind. You're not just showing them the house. You're not just trying to sell them the house. You're building a relationship, because you never know what's going to come of that relationship. I just got a buyer from a seller that I had 3 years ago, because I built a relationship when I was dealing with them. I maintain that relationship by staying on what will be the Zap platform, what's now Business Builder. Keeping in touch with them, emailing them every once in a while.
Did that go through already? Is that an over already?
We will have Zap 3.0 either November or December.
Oh.
Okay, so you'll notice when the platform
Okay.
changes. It's not going to be like, oh, by the way, we're all on Zap. Hooray. There's going to be a big changeover. So, and we'll definitely announce when it's happening. I don't have the exact date yet, but we've talked with our liaison at Zip Realty a number of times, and we keep getting the same, yes, it will be November, December. We're already putting some other software into place in the next few weeks that will be back-end software that will help ease the transition. So some of the transaction pieces will already start to be taken care of by other back-end processes. So what are you guys going to do to make yourselves stand out today? I mean, how many of you have showings coming up? Showings coming up. I mean, most of us,
You have a point.
yeah, are you doing anything over there, Carol? I know you showed yesterday, you said, or the day before, so you definitely have stuff going on, and you will have stuff coming up if you don't have it today. What are we doing to make ourselves
How
stand out?
would you respond to, you show the house and the buyer looks at you and says, would you live here?
Is it buyer agent or?
Yeah, you just said, how to say, the piece of stuff. Would you live here?
Okay, so you're working for the buyer. You're working for the buyer or the seller?
You're-
Okay, you're working for the buyer. My answer would be, doesn't matter whether I live here or not, would you live here? I'm not buying the house.
I tell them I all the time, Carol. I said, you know, it's still, you're gonna be living here, you have to be happy.
Right.
I have sold houses that I would not ever live in. Some of them because of condition, some of them because I just don't like the style. I'm a big fan of splits. I've sold a lot of splits. Don't know that I'd ever live in a split because I don't, it's just my personal preference. I don't like them. They don't feel like home to me. You know, but I've sold plenty of them. So when somebody asks me, and they have, would you live in this house? Would you live in this neighborhood? Would you live here? Doesn't matter whether I live here or not.
I had that the other day,
Mhm.
about they weren't sure about Massapequa, but I said, look, I said, when I tell my buyers,
Mhm.
it's not on the neighbor's door. And it's their opinion of what they think of the neighborhood.
Exactly.
You know, I don't live here, I can't really,
No,
Drive around at
forget
night.
about you don't live here. You can't discuss the neighborhood.
besides that.
You know,
Besides
Yeah, I've told people to drive around the neighborhood
I
at
tell them not
night
on-
or whenever, or the
I tell
weekend,
them
and
not on
see
the
if you
neighbor's
still
door.
like it. You know, if that's
Yeah.
comfortable for you.
so the way I usually handle that is, do you know what a good neighborhood and a bad neighborhood is in your mind?
In my mind, yeah.
Okay, but that's what I say to them. And everybody says, oh yeah, I know a good neighborhood and a bad neighborhood. So you drive around.
Yeah.
You'll know whether it's a good neighborhood or a bad neighborhood for you, right?
Mhm.
I can't make that determination, but you have to live here. You drive around, you're comfortable here, great. That's, this is for you, not for me. I've sold houses in neighborhoods I'd love to live in. I've sold houses in neighborhoods I didn't really want to step into to show the house. But people are thrilled with it. I love this. I have had people tell me, I love this neighborhood. And I'm sitting here going, I would not even send my dog to school in this neighborhood, but you're telling me you think the schools are great. You know what? Not for me to determine. It's for them to determine. So, you love the neighborhood? Great. I'm glad you love the neighborhood. Then let's make sure we find you something in the place you want to be. It is a sticky situation because of the rules and regulations that we have to follow for fair housing. And it's tough when they say to you, recommend a neighborhood to me.
You can't, I can't.
Well, why can't you?
By law, we're not allowed.
Why? That makes no sense. I
Because
mean,
they get angry.
I'm hiring you. Why can't?
Yeah, they get mad.
Okay, so I don't even tell them by law. What I say to them is, this goes back to black people go here, white people go here, Spanish people go here, Indian people go here. Should I determine what type of person you are and what neighborhood you should live in because you're that person?
So would it be appropriate if somebody asked me that question? And I said, well, I live in Freeport and I'm very happy there, so I would recommend Freeport, Baldwin, Merritt.
No,
You can't do that.
no, you can't do that because now you're making a determination for somebody on where they should live. I literally say to them, I'm not allowed to make that determination. And it goes back to the discrimination laws. So that's where I said, well, I don't jam it in their face. New York State says I'm not allowed to tell this to you. Oh, go back to discrimination laws. Look, realtors have a bad reputation, and a lot of it goes back many, many years. I don't believe that realtors are anywhere near as bad as their reputation, and I certainly think a lot of that comes from the years when people would go into a neighborhood and tell you, this is a white neighborhood, this is a black neighborhood. You're a black family, you don't belong in this neighborhood. And that's really what a lot of these laws go back to.
What they call steering in those days.
Steering, creating white flights, and now you're blocked, all these things that, that are really horrible, horrible things where people are trying to maintain a neighborhood. What they're trying to maintain is segregation. That's what they're trying to maintain by doing that. And I don't see it happening very often now. Does it happen? Absolutely. We run into it from time to time. But I don't see it happening often. Okay? But the laws are still in place. And because of that, we're not allowed to recommend a school district because, and that's what I lead into. Well, can you tell me what's a good school district is your next question. I know it is. But that still goes back to black people go to this school, white people go to this school. Do you want me making that determination for you? Because I can't. I'm not allowed to. But here's the savings grace. Here's the great thing about this. There's two things you can very easily do. The first is look on the internet. You will find demographic information. You will see what the crime rate is in the neighborhood. You can find the school information so you know what ratings they have. See, now I've just taken 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So I've taken a little bit of my time. I've explained to the buyer exactly what they're going to have to do and given them the solution that I'm not allowed to actually do for them. The second thing is drive around the neighborhood. You're not sure about a neighborhood? Drive around. Drive around in the middle of the afternoon. Drive around at night. Drive around. If you can identify a good neighborhood and a bad neighborhood in your mind, when you drive into a neighborhood, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, oh, it's a crap neighborhood. Well, how do you know it's a crap neighborhood? Because of the way it looks, because of the people that are there, because of whatever. It makes you uncomfortable. Okay, well, it's a crap neighborhood to you, but the people living in the neighborhood, most of them probably don't think it's a crap neighborhood. They're probably happy with it. So drive around, get comfortable with the neighborhood. I can't make those recommendations, but if you tell me I want to be in this location, this location, and this location, I'll be happy to find houses for you. So now you've gotten yourself out of the situation where you might be tempted to cross boundaries into fair housing violations. Because it's very easy to do. I mean, I don't think anybody that I've come across in the American Homes family is going to do that as far as be racially motivated. But it's very easy to say, oh yeah, this is a great, great part of XYZ area. Oh yeah, this is a lovely place. This is great for kids. Did you just cross boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell me the status. So we have to be very careful about it. But what it also does is you educated the buyer. You took a little bit of time out of your day to educate the buyer. And I have had plenty of people say to me, thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Look, I talk a lot. There's no doubt about that. When I get rolling about this stuff, I will continue to talk. I understand that. But just taking a few minutes of your day and showing that they are important to you and doing things like educating them on the reason we can't, instead of just saying, well, it's the law, I can't do it. Okay, I'll just go to somebody else that will ignore it. But if you explain why the law is there and how this is protecting them, it's just like the agency disclosure form.
Do you know how many people don't have gone out with agents and never signed the disclosure form?
Yep.
Yes, the guy I showed properties to yesterday said he had never seen that form before.
Yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
I'm like, have you worked with agents? Yeah, but I've never signed an agent.
Well, I know nobody in here is doing that, right?
No, that's
Carol, you're looking at your shoes. Are you guilty? Look, I'm not going to say I've never done it. Okay, I certainly have been guilty of doing that from time to time. Has it happened recently? No, absolutely not. But when I was a new agent and I was scared to ask for these things, it had happened.
I had it happen to me a couple of years ago. And it was a neighbor, I had the listing, a neighbor from across the street, they came over, said, do you mind
you know, if you take a look, and it never, for some reason, it just didn't occur to me.
Right.
And I didn't have the papers with me at the time because I was just actually setting up the house and preparing it to be shown at the time. They come back with another agent.
Well, they would have done that anyway, regardless of you, if you had had them sign the agency disclosure. See, that's the thing
But
about
at
the
least if I
agency
had done
disclosure.
that, do I get,
No.
No,
no, there's still no obligation.
no, there's no obligation. The only obligation is if they said to you, well, if they said to you, hey, I want to put an offer in and this is how much I want to put in, that, then you have started the offer process.
Well, they did, they hadn't, they were talking price at the time.
Did they give you an offer?
Not in writing,
Yeah. Did they give you an offer?
verbally, yeah.
Okay, so they give you an offer verbally, you have an argument that you made the offer. Then you have an argument that was done in clause. But without having that paperwork, you would have gotten slaughtered in arbitration.
Yeah.
It's the first thing they would have looked at. Do you have all your paperwork?
That's why I carry around my little, all the time, and all my forms are in there. Takes a second, I usually set them up ahead of time.
It's never important until it's important.
Yeah.
Department of State sends out a tester. You don't get the agency disclosure signed, you're getting a fine. You have a situation like Ricky's where you do put an offer and you get the accepted offer, let's say. And then they say, oh, by the way, my cousin's a realtor and he's going to be the realtor on this. Well, if you don't have your forms filled out and signed, you're going to get killed in arbitration. They're going to say, well, you didn't get your agency disclosure filled out, so obviously you're not doing the right thing. Why should we give you this? How do we know that you actually took them out? You know, you didn't do the right thing. And you're going to lose. But if you have all the fillers filled out, we have a better shot at winning in arbitration. If you have all the forms filled out, nobody can come to you and give you a fine. Yeah, so we have to be very careful about that. But the reason I brought that up was because when you get somebody to sign the forms, you're taking a minute to explain it to them. And when you say to them, this is a consumer protection law. This protects you. This is not a contract.
I highlighted. It is not a contract.
Right. I point it out when I show it to them. This is not a contract. It's a consumer protection law protecting people who didn't understand who we were working for. So let me explain to you who I'm working for and how. And then you can take this home after you sign it and you see it's not a contract, it's not binding, it doesn't mean you need to work with me. You can walk out this door, go to another agent and do whatever you need to do if you don't like me, if you don't feel my services are up to what you need. But I hope you love me, because everybody loves me. Who doesn't love me? Add a little humor, just flip it a little bit. And when you sit down and explain to them what they're signing, not just shove it in their face and say, hey, you need to sign this because the law says you need to sign this. What gives a shit? I jaywalk. I speed. Seems like a minor law to me. Not my problem. I'm not required to sign it. You're required to get my signature. Make sense? Again, you're adding value to the process. So what value are we going to add today? Think about it. I don't need an answer. I want you guys to think about it. What value are you going to add the next time you walk out that door to meet somebody? Think about what do they need? What are their wants and desires? Have you talked to them long enough to find out what their wants and desires are? Do you know where they're from? Do you know why they're moving? Do you know what their financial situation is? Do you know who their mother is? Do you know who their father is? Do you know who their kids are? Do you know if they have kids? Find out. Connect yourself to them. And be genuinely interested. If you're not, maybe sales isn't the right position for you. Maybe customer service isn't the right position for you. But if you're genuinely interested in helping people, this is the field for you. This is where you should be. But you have to cross that line a little bit between what we put up this professional divide. I'm a professional person. You know what that does? That stops people in their tracks. And again, something I was plenty guilty of and have been, and something sometimes I find very comfortable to fall back into, Because if I'm a professional and you just don't want to use me, well, it's your fault. It's not my fault. Because I've been professional and I did what I was supposed to do. And now you don't want to use me? Well, go ahead. So it's a defense mechanism that we use.
Yeah.
What's that? But it's a defense mechanism. You know, and it creates a cold persona. It's not warm. It's not inviting. It's not asking people to come be with you. People don't want to be with professionals necessarily. They want a professional service. And when business is being done, they want you to be professional. But they do want you to connect with them on a personal level. So it's a fine line, a funny line that we have to walk. We have to be a little careful about that. So you guys are going to go and think about what you can do on the next time to make yourself stand out just a little bit?
That's funny though you said that, because I sometimes I come, the deal that I'm in contact with, but he kept saying to me like, put your foot down, be strong, with negotiating. Maybe they see you as a woman and they don't feel that you're, gonna get what they want.
Have you ever met some of the top producers in our industry? You have. You've dealt with them. Some of the top producers in our industry. Do they come off as not being professional? No, most of them do. Most of them come across as very strong-willed people. I don't know the exact number, but I'm guessing at least 75% of this industry is women.
Mm-hmm.
Men are a minority in this industry, without a doubt. Look around our office roster.
I know.
Yeah. So,
But
you know,
I get that.
so I would flip it back on them a little bit. Are you willing to lose this house for a better deal? Excellent. The only way you can effectively negotiate a better price is to be willing to, there's the safe zone where we know, okay, we can get 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 off, whatever the number is. And then there's we need to effectively be willing to lose this home and show them we're willing to walk away to get that extra $5,000 or $10,000, whatever that number is. And if you're not willing to lose that house, you're not allowing me to effectively negotiate, and that's okay. We'll stay with the safe zone, but understand you're not necessarily. You may get the better deal, but more than likely you're going to land in a safe area. Now we have a lot less leverage today because it is a seller's market. So we're seeing a lot of asking, above asking, going forward. And again, are you willing to lose the house? I've had that conversation numerous times, and many times they'll say to me, you know what, I've looked at it, it's really not worth losing the house over 5,000. Or sometimes they'll say to me, yeah, this is my number. I'm willing to lose the house. Great, let's go. And then that's when you say to them, no problem, let me go pound on these people. Now that I know you're willing to lose the house over this number, let me see what I can do. And you know what? If they get within a couple thousand, you call up the person and say, look, this is the best I can do. This is the number. Are you willing to lose the house over 2,000? Because 5,000 is different than 2,000. 10,000 is different than 5. Everybody's threshold is a little bit different. And even though they say to you, 300 is the number, that's it. If people come closer, they show that they're acting in good faith. Sometimes they'll change.
And with the life of the loan, you're talking about a couple of dollars a month.
But for some people,
Yeah, well,
that's
that's what happened
what
the
it
other
is.
day. The house there is from 339, and he wanted to the farm, because he came with the farm, and he said, well, usually, you offer less. I'm like, not right now,
Not
it's
in
not
this
a
market.
buyer's market, it's a seller's market. You want to offer 330, you're more welcome to do that, but that's not gonna get you the house. And not even the 335 is getting it.
Yeah, I mean, these things happen. I had, we offered 465 on a 449 house, and we lost. At 20% down or 10% down, conventional loan, good borrowers, we lost. Why did we lose it? Well, we're number third in line out of 16 or 18 offers they had.
Yeah,
That's the
situation
market
I'm in
we're
right
in
now.
today.
What area is that?
That's people want.
Yeah, this is nice. I mean, now with 15,000 over asking price, but this will have, might have higher offers, I have no idea.
So I want you to really keep that in mind. What are you going to do to make yourself stand out? Because this business, we get leads in a number of funnels. But your biggest funnel should be a referral funnel. That's really where your most business should be coming from as you get more and more experience. And if you're not getting that referral funnel, but you've done a number of deals, start asking yourself why. Are you not staying in touch with these people? Do they not know that you're out there? Did you not go above and beyond? Maybe you did adequate service.
Actually, I got a listing of her the other day from someone I sold a couple of years ago. She had lost my information, so she contacted me through Facebook.
See, and that's why it's important to do things like be on social media. People find you in the weirdest ways. I had a seller find me on Angie's List, which I didn't put myself on. One of my prior clients had put me on Angie's List. I didn't even know I was there. I get a call from this person, hey, I found you on Angie's List. Really? That's great. Didn't know I was there. I had sold their house, and I got 3 other referrals from them for selling outside through the through the reload network. So I got more money on their reload referral fees than I did on selling their house. So again, she found you and recommended you because you did something that made you stand out. I don't know what that something is. It may just be you're a nice person. But in some way, she felt that you stood out from anybody else, and she made an effort to go find you. That's the person that you should be contacting all the time. Stay in touch with that person. Send her flowers. Send her candy. Stop by.
Yeah, now I become friends with all my bosses.
And that's okay. Keep in touch with them because that's what generates more business. You know, we've got the Zap Lead program, we've got the Cardist Lead program, we've got our lead generation that we do through Lead Router. You know, there's tons of business that we generate in this company, and the business goes out to the agents. But there's only so much we can do. If you want to get past a certain point, have to generate your own leads as well. You know, and it needs to be a combination of either a referral network or company-generated leads. Your leads that are coming in from networking groups, from family and friends, from people you've done business with in the past, from door knocking, from marketing. There's a lot of areas you can get business from. And if you say to me, I'm not getting any business, well, what do you do? That's my next question today. What are you doing to get business? And if you're overwhelmed, there's just so much I can't. Let's pick one and work on it. Once you get that down and you got that in a rhythm, pick another one. Let's work on it. Let's add it into the rhythm. And just keep doing it. I'm not telling you to go out and do everything all at once, because if you do, you're going to fail. But if you pick one, you work on it, you get good at it, you move on to the next one. Work on it, get good at it, move on to the next one, and continue to do and add into your routine. So in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, however long it takes you to keep adding, maybe you're doing 5 or 6 different funnels worth of business, and you get a drip here, drip here, drip here, drip here, and it all fills you up. All right, we're gonna go out and do?
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
We're gonna have a great day?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.